So what was going through your mind as the game progressed?
I think the same thing that was going through Snyder's mind, everybody's mind on defense, in the dugout, everybody in the stands, all of you guys. It's one of those things that you don't ever talk about it. I had to remind Whammer in about the 7th inning, hey dude, I know you hadn't been here in a lot of these situations, but don't say anything to anybody. It's just what a great performance, but what a shame at the same time.
What helped him be so successful, do you think, Coach? I mean, it seemed like he was throwing harder out there kind of as the innings went on.
You know, he felt what was happening. You could kind of tell that. When he got to about the 7th inning, I think, he realized what was going on and just took it upon himself to just come out with his best stuff. I mean, that's ridiculous stuff out there. He's throwing 92, 93 miles an hour. He's 6'7". The hitters can't see it. They feel like he's letting it go right on top of home plate. It's just you got Manoah that strikes out 15 a couple times, but it's arguable who had a better night, because Manoah's been so good. But gosh, if Snyder can do that every time, this team, we could do some things. If we get two guys that are capable of that.
How much does it help having a guy like Snyder that can come out here and dominate in these midweek games, kind of keep momentum going from series to series?
Well, it's having him has really helped our win our midweek games, of course. I think that's his 6th win, but even more than that, if you don't win the midweek games, then you're a little tentative going into the weekends, coming off a loss. So when you win the midweek games, it helps you go into the weekends with confidence. So it's more than just this game. It's going into the weekend. And I think now, I'd have to go back and count it up, but in the last 2 or 3 years, in our midweek games, we've won, I think, 21 out of 23 against Marshall, Pitt, Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State, Virginia Tech. So we've been really good in this region, and we've done it with great recruiting. Coach Savins has brought great players in here, great fan support, great community support, and we're in an area where we talk about trap games all the time, and we talked about it going into this game. It's hard to have a letdown against the type of teams we get to play in the midweek games. The teams I just mentioned are all great programs and great schools. If you come out here against a school that nobody's ever heard of, this is the type of game that you'd really have a letdown, because you come off a big emotional weekend at Texas, you win the series, and it's a Tuesday, we've been playing on Wednesdays, so everything was lined up for a trap game. But you got Marshall coming here. We're the only 2 schools in the state. We got a great crowd, everybody's into it. We got Snyder, so we can avoid those letdown games because of all that.
Teams that get through conference tournaments, get through regionals, can go 4 deep with their rotation. How good are you feeling about that aspect?
I mean, I felt good about that from day one, that we could, in a tournament environment where you have to play 4 or 5 games, that we have the advantage there because of our starting pitching. We need to hit too. We need to hit. We're not these 2-0 games and 3-2 games and walk-offs. Those are fun for you guys to watch. But gosh, that elevates my heart rate like you wouldn't believe. It'd be nice to have a nice 10-2 win sometimes, but we'll obviously take the wins. But we're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
What does it say about his maturity when you give up the no hit, the no hitter's gone, but he came right with the next batter and got him out?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I was a little worried. You see it all the time. Guy loses a no hitter, and all of a sudden, the next guy hits a home run and the score's tied. So, thought about taking him out after the no hitter, but he was still so dominant. But yeah, it's hard to pitch to that next guy after what just happened. So credit to him, that was the hardest out of the game, that last one.
These close games, you may not like them, but they certainly will help you prepare for tournament play.
Yeah, you play in the Big 12, you're going to play almost all games like this. People don't blow each other out much in our league, so having confidence to win games like this really helps you when you get in them. And we've been in a lot. You know, we've walked off, I don't know, 4 or 5 games this year. We've been walked off this year, so close games late don't rattle us at all.
Pretty big series with TCU coming up this weekend. Just thoughts in general on that. I know it's a place where you coached before, probably a little bit special for you whenever you play them.
Not really.
No?
It's just another series at this point that we have to win. You know, we won 5 in a row, and we can't afford to have a letdown now. We've got to come out. You know, they're a really, really good team that's had some really, really bad luck. So we can't expect, because they're down in the standings, that they're not a good team. It's the best offense in the league. The matchup on Friday night is one that you're hardly ever going to see in this ballpark, with Manoah versus their #1 guy, who's a projected first-round draft pick as well. You got 2 major league pitchers going against each other. So if you live in Morgantown and you don't have anything else to do, man, this is going to be a treat to see these 2 guys pitch.
I know you mentioned that the hits haven't, or the runs rather, haven't been coming in abundance for you, but you have got some timely hitting weekend series recently. I know TJ had some big hits this weekend. You had Inman's had some big hits the last couple of weeks. Could you just tell me a little bit about the timely hitting and how important that's been for you?
Yeah, you know, our team batting average isn't good at all, but who cares? You know, we're finding a way to win games and getting hits when we need them. I'd rather hit 250 and win games the way we're winning them than hit 350 and lose 12-10. You know, so a team kind of takes on an identity like that you can win games late. Once winning late gets in your blood, it's hard to get it out. You know, so if we were down 2-0 in the 7th or 8th inning, our guys would have believed we could have won the game. That's just the character of this team right now.